if he clearly isn't hamstrung totally because he wrote a book about it on Twitter, and within that, it's like he showed the extent to which he could talk about it, and well within that extent would be him stating, she said she was 24 and I was befuddled and I didn't know, and like he didn't say any of that.
It's possible that
believe that's not the case,
or that the NDA isn't, or that the NDA isn't binding because a Twitch employee leaked that information. Like maybe there's a clause for that if your side comes out, this looks bad. Look, I love a whistleblower, but man, I hope that guy's okay. I hope he's not like whoever that was that came forward and released all this information. I hope he's safe somewhere.
Tim and Kyle.
It's just us. It's just us.
Him and Kyle pretending right now. And
when this story broke, Bloomberg did some like actual investigative reporting and has confirmed from 3 different sources that he was sexting with a minor knowingly. And that like there are a lot of people who were kind of, like making up scenarios where it would be less inappropriate aspiring pedophile behavior. But that is not the case. Yeah, he doesn't have much of a defense on this one, it would seem, according to Bloomberg.
It doesn't seem like it.
And they're triple-checked sources.
It just doesn't make sense why he wouldn't have addressed it differently if it was a more favorable situation to him. Because he would have been trying to get out in front of it if that was the case. And be like, oh, let me clarify some stuff before anything gets wild. But like he didn't do that.
He's like, I'm gonna leave. Where's P Diddy? That's where I want to be.
The word minor in and out, which is like
bad look.
Such a key part of that. Like, do you think he was reading it afterward and he's like, "Ooh, this does look bad." Like,
honey, take a look at my apology video for the minor. What do you think? Ooh, you didn't write minor, did you? I mean, she was clearly. I mean, I knew it. You knew
just
it.
One of
Twitch knew it. That's the other thing. Can we just talk about everybody's piling on Doc about this? Rightfully so, but don't forget.
Yeah, where's he?
Twitch has been keeping quiet officially that this massive streamer was sexting underage girls on a platform full of that, and issues with that, and like sexuality and children like commingling in this awkward weirdness that is Twitch. If you go, we've talked about it before, the cam girls and and all the crazy shit that goes down there. And it's like, man, this is not about kids and video games. But you're pretending like it is. And there are kids in here watching you, like, show your camel toe and bounce your ass. It's pretty wild what goes down over there.
Twitch did talk about it a little. I have the Rolling Stone article in front of me. And here, I'll just read 2 paragraphs. The ex-Twitch employee has also provided Rolling Stone a more detailed account of internal conversations at Twitch following the report of Dr. Kidden Specs, I added that, messages to his subsequent ban. They say the details of Beam's case are coming out because Connor's explosive tweet last week. Cody got the ball rolling. Me and many of my former colleagues are comfortable speaking up now because of it. Our priority has always been the safety of the victim and to keep their identity secret. As some of its streamers faced a flood of sexual misconduct allegations in June 2020, Twitch created an incident response team known as Gold Sparrow to develop a process to investigate and take action on the reports as one unit, the former employee says. We wanted to be able to process mounting investigations quicker and with more resources while providing as much support for victims as possible. So I guess they had a Gold Sparrow response team for treating like Dr. Disrespect.
You got taken out by the Golden Sparrow.
Operation Golden Sparrow. That's okay.
When you hear the flutter of wings, think of us.
You know what? That was my favorite detail. The Gold Sparrow code name of it. It made it sound like a more intentional effort. I know you guys both took lame away, but I took
so lame.
That's
there's
so
like
lame.
5 people. I hope they had brooches.
They're like, all right, guys, week 1, we got to come up with a name. Week 2, we're getting on this. Operation Gold Sparrow.
So that's why it took from 2017. He got banned in 2020. Does that sound right? Like it was,
I don't remember.
Yeah, there's no way it was.
I thought it was 2017 when everything happened, but I don't keep up with him or really care about him. Like I haven't liked his content for like 14 years. I used to do these video skits where he was training like a Padawan called Randy.
I remember those.
Those were good. And it was like he was also making them where everybody else was just making commentary with no camera of themselves. And it was just really plain Jane shit. It was early Modern Warfare 2 days. And he was including with that like skits that were filmed well and acted well, and there was characters and a storyline going on, and I was kind of into it. He was like training a noob to be a gamer, but treating it like it was Karate the Kid or something. It was fun.
Yeah,
Wait
as
a
much
minute.
as I've fussed about him, I was talking to Jackie today. I was like, I do have to give him credit. Like, he would have seemingly prepared speeches for winning a game of Fortnite. Then the background would change, and he'd be in a locker room or in front of American flags. I don't know, but like, it wasn't just him sitting like he always did. He'd get up and walk around the virtual room with good, production quality. And either he has a real knack for making a speech off the top of his head, or he had something prepared. Either way, he was doing more than everybody else was. That's got to be a huge part of his success. But he was also trying to fuck more children than everybody else, and that's his
I like the
downfall.
costume too. I'm gonna be honest. I like that costume. I think that thing's cool. We always talk about branding. Get your Twitter to fucking match your YouTube. No, that's branding. That's branding. Like he in a sea of pale faced, lightly bearded men. Suddenly there was a 6'8" tall giant with a mullet and body armor who was screaming at you with that absurd mustache. And it was like, all right, there's no way. It's kind of like when a UFC fighter has rainbow hair or ridiculous tattoos. The next time you see him, which might be 3, 4, 6, 8 months from now in some other show, you're like, oh yeah, I remember this guy now. He's Rainbow Warrior. Yeah, okay. And you kind of become a fan of someone because they are recognizable.
It's too old for most of our audience now, but Chuck Liddell was a UFC fighter. He had a mohawk, and he had these blue shorts he was called the Iceman. And were they blue flames or something, or white flames on his blue shorts?
Something like that.
My point is, I think a 6-year-old could draw this guy with crayons and identify that guy's Chuck Liddell. Like, I would know what he was going for.
Draw the sketch thing. We're looking for a tall, scary man, like with sharp teeth and mismatched eyes.
Also, he's green.
There's one guy walking around with like a poorly drawn top hat on. He's like, I gotta get out of here.
With 3 fingers.
3 fingers of his stick body sprinting away.
We're looking for the 3-fingered man.
Yeah. I had not seen, I haven't seen any content of Dr. Disrespect in, I guess a decade. It sounds old. I think you were right about like 14, 15 years, because I remember how he'd be dressed up in his getup, and then he'd transition into Randy wearing like sweatbands on a treadmill and be like, you have to keep going to be the ultimate gamer, or like some shit like that. And I remember at the time seeing it and being like, man, these only have like 8,000 views, like, which even then wasn't a lot. Then he exploded and got a little too big for his britches, seemingly, starts messaging underage people.
You know what's crazy too? He was bad at the game. Like, somehow he went from console to PC, and unlike the rest of us, he just got super good at games. Like, I mean, not super good.
Oh,
but like,
you think he was bad in the early days?
He was always bad on this controller. Like, he was bad at Modern Warfare. His videos would be like, "This is one step above a junkyard quickie."
How did he win 2 blockbuster championships?